What's up, everybody? Brian Tong here. Next to me, we got a special first look at the Hyundai IONIQ 9. And, here in the US, the IONIQ 5, the IONIQ 6, award-winning cars really have transformed what Hyundai's been able to do here in the US. So, yes, this is the 9. Now, if you're familiar with the car, they showcased a concept 7 back in the day. Well, this car retains, they basically said 99% of what was inspired and wanted from that design is here in the 9. So we're gonna kind of point out some of the design features that make this unique. First of all, a shorter front, right? You don't have a long front because there's no combustible engine here. But what I like here, really smooth, almost like pebble smooth, slopes down. And as you move down, this is what they call their parametric pixel front. This is a complete slope that does not break. There's no jutting edges. It's one fine line. Now we look at this parametric pixel design. This is obviously something that you've seen in some of other design elements of their IONIQ 5 and IONIQ 6. Wraps around, and then even with the headlights and the high beams, vertical. So it has this really super impactful look when it's behind you or coming at you. And even here behind this glass, you can roughly see the pixel design is still there, the DNA to show kind of connect the design all the way through. Now in this front area behind this glass in the center, you'll have obviously the radar, you'll have different parking sensors around the front, and then here that's going to be that front camera. You also have a camera up top, but this design completely flush, really nice. And even when the car is off, these vents to suck in the air will actually close and continue that line. So really sleek lines. Now as we go from the front and move to the back, right, you'll see aerodynamically this goes all the way up. The highest point is actually somewhere here in the rear, like in the middle of the rear door, and as it comes back it slopes down. And they've been inspired by a boat design. As you look, once we come around the back, the lines kind of come, they meet, they kind of narrow down, and you'll see this nice back again with this pixel design. Simon Loseby, Senior Vice President and Head of Hyundai Design, spoke with me about the inspiration behind the pixel design in the IONIQ 9.
The pixel, if you look at the Korean alphabet, that's Hangul, and letter M, Myum, is a pixel. King Sejong in 1447 designed that for us. So we have a 600-year-old design language on our most up-to-date product, which happens to be the symbol of bits and bytes and tech as well.
Going around the side, there is another secret design element, which is this diagonal line.
That diagonal is a crucial part of the connection of the main volumes on the body side. And that's, for me, is what I call the hanbok line. Go to any wedding in Korea. Every wedding I've been to, the mothers will wear the traditional dress. And the traditional dress has a single diagonal collar over one side. The other goes underneath. There's a hierarchy in there. The main line. And that main line is, for me, the diagonal connecting the muscle of the rear fender with the front fender.
Okay, so we are inside, right, in the cockpit on the driver's side. We're going to show you some cool features that make this unique as well. Obviously, see, what I think is really interesting here, Hyundai has really thought about this and made this a combination of tactile buttons and touchscreen design with this panorama display. So what we have here, something that maybe you might have missed, this is the first thing that came to mind. Air control vents that are actual, right, physical devices. I hated going on the screen and like trying to figure out where is it aiming. I actually really welcome this. You obviously have the steering wheel, you have these dial controls and also tactile buttons to change between modes and cruise control and lane assistance. This is all here on the steering wheel. But other things here, the touchscreen design here, so you'll have access to FM, AM, different media, different apps as well. And then yes, if you keep on scrolling, you want to know if YouTube's on there, you're probably watching this on YouTube, that's where you could go. Also Android Auto and Cars Play support are here on this model. Now when we look down here, you'll see here again the DNA of the pixel here. This is the charging for Qi charging. I can pop my phone on and charge it right on this spot. And then also being able to switch between the different drive and terrains. I thought this was really interesting. This is a push button, a tactile button, and I can switch right here on display drive. I got eco, normal, sport, my drive. But if I go up to terrain also, just tap over to the right, automatic, snow, mud, and sand. And again, there's something to be said about, instead of diving into these menus, having this combination of tactile and touch. Also, when you look at the interior, You have these nice sloping lines. Again, very Pebble inspired when you look at the curves that are around here. And then even something soft like this, kind of this luxurious gleam that has almost like a stone texture with a little, some of the shimmer. Sometimes you see that in our rocks and things like that. So overall, sitting here, comfortable. The other thing that I want to show you, I'm going to show you in the second row, but these front seats also allow you to basically fully recline in relaxation mode. Before we do that though, I want to show you up top, we have a full sunroof that basically extends from the back all to the way to the front. And I'm just going to close this just so you can see, like, this is a full-on, full-length sunroof. One of the features of this car is that how much interior space it has, and what that requires is maybe one of the longest sunroofs that I have ever seen. So a lot of cool things. Again, just a first look. We haven't been able to deep dive, but just want to show you the things that impacted me the most. And then for all you techies out there, if you look down here, yeah, you have USB-C, but you have 100-watt charging USB-C. So that could literally power up something like your laptop on the go. So this also creates almost like a workstation feel because you have support for charging at that speed. All right, so we showed you what's going on up in the front. Let's show you now here in the middle. This is a 3-row SUV. So this is some fun stuff. I'm gonna hop in here, and if you look down, you're gonna see some controls here. I'm gonna scoot this seat back because not only can I scoot it back, these have this relaxation mode where, yes, of course the back goes down, but look at this. We got a little leg rest. Oh yeah, so push the front seat all the way forward, pull this back, and you can be lounging here in this IONIQ 9. You know, from a space standpoint, second row and third row legroom more than other competitors when you compare it to like Rivian 1S or the Tesla Model X. So they're really trying to feature like how much cabin space they have to make this roomy. Obviously, we look down here, as passengers, you have access to heated seats, cooled seats, and AC as well. And then I also want to point out down here, you know, there's going to be different configurations. This is equipped with a Bose audio system as well. And then I'm going to just kind of take my time. If you come along here, all right, I'm going to creep on back into this third row. Now, one of the unique things here in the third row is that you also have, there's some buttons here on the side that will show you, but you have the ability to recline the third row seats back and forth, not all the way back, but they do have the ability to recline. And then you also see, again, 100-watt USB-C charging ports here for people in the back as well. So really just a roomy 3-row SUV, and you gotta love the relaxation feature. That's fun. So we're gonna close this door here. I wanna show you some new other stuff here on the back side. We're gonna come to this corner, and what we have here is the charging port. So on the right rear, I'm gonna pop this door open, and what you'll see here, this is a production model, but this will be an NACS port here, especially for the US. Now, one of the things to note is when you talk about charging, what are they doing? Well, they will be compatible 17,000 plus Tesla superchargers. Also, they're gonna be a part of that partnership of the IONIQ network that is looking to roll out roughly 30,000 chargers by the year 2030. So they know that the infrastructure is important. They'll be able to support that as well. And then you can also charge at home. We want to close this up and then show you here. Let's open the back, right? This is a 3-row SUV. There's a button right there. Pop it open. So you do have some trunk space here, and obviously you have a little storage under here as well. If you look here really closely, we've got charging ports. We've got a 12-volt over here, and then we have physical plugins over there as well. So, but you know, when you look at the overall composition, definitely the Hyundai DNA is all inside this car. Now, if you want to know when it'll be available, they're looking at spring 2025 for release. If you're wondering, hey, Brian, why didn't you talk about mileage? The battery, you're talking about a 113 kilowatt hour battery. That gives you roughly 300 plus miles on the different configurations. So they're saying they're going to look for 300 plus no matter what the different trims are for this car. But there you go. This is a first look, kind of highlighting some of the cool things that stand out for the new Hyundai IONIQ 9.